it's an organization or company, whatever you want to call it, that basically puts together these trips that people can go on. I call them media savvy people. They're basically anybody who's interested in creating some kind of media at an NGO that will create content. So SalaamGarage is picking different countries around the world with different focuses. For example, in India we work with orphans on the street, street kids, and the NGO called Vatsalya gets the kids off the streets and puts them into an orphanage, into a home. So if I take that for an example, what that trip is with SalaamGarage is the people go and they go to the NGO and they create this content, and then they bring this content back home with hopes to raise awareness and even sometimes raise funds and basically just get it to spread this awareness around using different types of media.
I'd done some travel before, but it had always been the kind of travel where you just show up and you take some pictures and try and get to know the area, and then you end up going home. Whereas Amanda's trip was specifically designed to take you in closer to the people on the street and outside the cities, on the farms in India, and that's what appealed to me, that we would get a lot closer to the actual culture than we would if, say, we'd just kind of flown there and gotten on a bus and did our own exploring.
That is definitely a very rewarding part, seeing that content spread around and seeing it get shared and seeing people hearing these stories that they'd otherwise never ever see. I mean, Vatsalya in India and Jaipur, India is a tiny little NGO. It's all grassroots, it's Indian run, and now people know that it exists and that many Vatsalyas actually exist all over India and all over the world. An NGO is a non-government organization, which is it's kind of like a non-profit organization with a particular mission trying to solve a particular problem. The way SalaamGarage is structured is just like the project I did with Rabor Village Project. The project is called Age is Knocking, where I did all of this pre-production here in Seattle with a woman named Lois Mabewa Ngundi.
So I met Amanda in 2004. I went to Africa in 2002, and having been here for about 5 years, when I went back, I saw there was a lot of changes in issues around HIV, AIDS, and orphans. So that really troubled me, and I was thinking about what is it that I could do. And Amanda also, at that very same time, it was in March of 2004, had gotten some work that she was going to do in Kenya, but in a different city. So Amanda went and looked at probably the description of my imaginary a day in the life of a child now, and went to the village. Through my connection to the village, we identified a family that actually fitted exactly the description of the day in the child that I was writing on paper here. She's displayed these photographs in various places. We've gone to out in Oregon, we've showed it. She's had some various places where these photographs have told very powerful stories. And it's been simpler to tell a story through a photograph than having to describe what's going on. So it's really been an extraordinary help.
I saw people traveling, and I saw people with photo albums and people showing, putting their photographs into Flickr, Facebook, YouTube, all that social media that's coming out. So I saw people traveling, I saw people coming back and telling stories, I saw all this activity going on where people were creating content and bringing it back, and the content was about their trip, like me in front of the Taj Mahal or something. And I thought to myself, well, what would happen if all those tourists and all those travelers would visit an NGO for a couple days, and if they're interested, visit an NGO, get to know a whole different side of traveling, get to know a whole different side of the country that they're in. And instead of coming back and saying, yeah, there's all this poverty and there's all these problems, actually meet people that are solving those problems and get to understand the problems on a different level with a little bit more depth. So basically what the book is it's a collection of 4 different projects that I've done in the world, in Brazil, Kenya, Romania, and Morocco. and my journals that I was writing while on these trips. And the way that it's connected to SalaamGarage is that this is the kind of thing that, you know, people can make also if they come on a trip with us.
That's what I like, is we're making viral marketers, basically. They go and they have an amazing experience, they learn something about the issues in that country, and they come back home and they talk about it, they share the images, they share the stories. And it's those personal connections that are going to help build a community that's going to support the work that's abroad and, you know, build better global citizens.
Bini dong,